Woo! What's going on, guys? Orbs Forum coming at you guys today with another video. And it's Victory Monday, baby. Let's go. Detroit Lions with the victory. How about that grit, babe? How about that grit? How about that leadership? How about that defense, babe? Woo! Come on. Come on. Got this at the game. I was there. I was very intoxicated. I had fun. It was awesome. I'm hurting this morning. Finally just took a shower. But it's Victory Monday, baby. And I won't keep this on the whole time. I'm going to take it off because it is a little bit warm. But man, I got this at the game. I spent almost $60 on accessories before I even walked in. Got this thing. It had a big medallion on it. I don't know where the hell that thing went. It's gone. But I like the chain. I think the chain's better. Just the chain. So I'll be taking this off in a second. But man, what a victory, guys. 20-6 over the Atlanta Falcons at Ford Field. Falcons fall on a 2-1. We go up to 2-1. So it was a good game, much needed win. Bijan Robinson, who? So yeah, man, good win, guys. Taking us off now. Put this over here. Take off the chain. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Put the glasses on. Get the Clark Kent look going. We're having some fun today in Victory Monday. Yeah, 20-6, Detroit Football Lions, guys. Big NFC win. You don't want to drop another game back-to-back at home and to an NFC opponent. So it was a good win, and it's all fogged up right now. It's all fogged up. But let's get down to some injuries. You know, there was a couple injuries going on in that game. Falcons were pretty unscathed, though. They did have running back Cordell Patterson, who was I said that he was going to probably be a game-time decision, and he was. He had a thigh. He was inactive. He was questionable. He did not suit up for this Sunday game. And then cornerback Jeff Okudah, who had a foot. He did play. It was an Atlanta debut. You guys know who Jeff Okudah is. We drafted him 3rd overall 4 or 5 years back. And he was making his debut. He wanted to probably come out a winner. Didn't happen. Then the Lions, we had left tackle Taylor Decker, who had the ankle. He was inactive for the game. We also missed out on guys like running back David Montgomery, safety Kirby Joseph, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Like 4 or 5 starters missed this game. I was really nervous. Then right tackle Matt Nelson ended up hurting himself that game, ankle. And then O-lineman, newcomer, second time around, Dan Skipper got a hamstring injury as well. So we lost 2 O-linemen in that game. Colby Sorsdal came in and played over 50% of the snaps on offensive tackle and played pretty well. Made his debut, and yeah, man, he played pretty good. He's got some cleaning up to do, but he went in there, 5th round rookie out of William and Mary from the Tribe. And yeah, let's see what happens during the week if they pick up another O-lineman, if any of these guys are really serious. I don't know how serious the ankle injury is to Nelson or the hamstring is to Skipper. So we'll know more during the week. It's going to be a short week too. We play Thursday night. So yeah, the Falcons were healthy. We were banged up, and we still pulled out the victory. And the defense, man, the defense showed up. But we'll talk about the stats. We'll go with the Falcons first because they are the road team. That's how we do things over here. Quarterback Desmond Ridder was 21 for 38. Only completed 55% of his passes. 201 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Sacked 7 times. Where was his defense last week? Man. But we came out to play. 7 times he was sacked. He was hit numerous times. Pressured, hits, everything. Ridder had PTSD out there. He did. He missed a couple open guys, though. He did, because I don't know if he's the answer over there in Atlanta. I don't know how Falcons fans feel. But he had PTSD. He was kind of just throwing the ball, man. He was shell-shocked out there. And then the running back, Bijan Robinson, the phenom rookie out of Texas, was 10 for 33 yards, 10 carries, 33 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a 3.3 yards per carry. He was absolutely bottled up. And then Tyler Algier, the other running back, 7 carries for 12 yards, 1.7 yards per carry. They only had 44 rush yards on the ground total. This was a number 3 rushing attack coming into this game. I know it's early. It's only week 3. But, man, they were an elite rushing attack. Not an elite team, big difference, but an elite rushing attack. So held him to 44 yards. And even Ridder, we've had problems with mobile quarterbacks, and Ridder can run a little. He can run. He only had 3 yards. So it was a great game plan by Aaron Glenn, our defensive coordinator. Great game plan. Can't even ask for anything better. And then receiving, tight end Kyle Pitts had 5 catches for 41 yards at 8.2 yards per reception. He was targeted 9 times. Tight end Jonnu Smith had 5 for 37 yards, 7.4 yards per catch, 8 targets. Wide receiver Drake London didn't do much, 2 catches for 31 yards, 15.5 yards per catch. Maybe should have got the ball to him a little bit more because he did have a nice yards per reception. He was targeted 6 times though. And then running back Bijan Robinson had 4 catches for 27 yards at 6.8 yards per reception as well, and he was targeted 6 times. Now the tight ends had about 89 yards total against us. Again, the tight ends have seemed to be our Achilles heel. We don't do well against them. We don't cover tight ends well because Nicole Pruitt was in on there too with 10 yards as well. So we got to tighten up with that coverage on tight ends. And then the kicker, Young Ho Koo, had 2 field goals. He did miss 1 though, with a long, I think, of 48. I think his 48 was his longest one. I don't remember how long the one he missed though. It was some distance though, from what I can remember. And then defense, safety Jesse Bates. I told everybody to watch out for this kid. He had 11 tackles and a pick. He did pick off Goff. Linebacker Caden Ellis had 10 tackles as well. Linebacker Troy Anderson had 8 tackles. Safety Richie Grant had 6 tackles. And then cornerback A.J. Terrell had 4 tackles. No sacks for the defense, just the 1 interception, no forced fumbles. Lions played a clean game on offense. Not a great game on offense, but they played clean. They played pretty clean except for the Goff pick, you know. And he owns that pick, you know. He went out to the podium, and he owns it, man. So the defense, you know, they didn't do much for the Falcons. They didn't do too much. They couldn't cause any turnovers except for the 1. And I don't think they even capitalized on that. I can remember. We held them to 6 points. So they didn't even get in the end zone. They didn't even get into the, I should be talking about this later, but I'm talking about it now. The Falcons didn't even get into our red zone until like 5 minutes and change what was left in that game, like over 5 minutes. We played great defensively. And then Lions stats. Quarterback Jared Goff was 22 for 33 at a 66% completion percentage. Nice clip right there. 243 yards, a touchdown, a pick, sacked 0 times. O-line played pretty well for being a makeshift O-line, especially with 2 guys going down, or 1 guy going down, really, Matt Nelson. Then Skipper came in. He went down as well, too. So we did lose 2 O-linemen, 2 backup O-linemen, and literally Skipper just came back in the building like a week ago, and he's hurt, too. So they were, Colby Solersville, the rookie, came in and played okay. He played pretty good. Too many penalties, though. Too many penalties on offense. Way too many penalties. I think as a team, we had to have had about 10 penalties. It felt like more. We had a lot of penalties. I don't know the exact number. Maybe someone can give that to me in the chat comments. I would really appreciate it. But, yeah, we had 8 to 10 penalties, and it felt like more. So, yeah, so Goff had an efficient game. He wasn't great by any stretch. He did throw the touchdown. It was to Laporta. And, yeah, so needs to be a little bit more cleaner, but it was pretty clean, actually. The offense was actually clean, but, you know, they were held to only 20 points on home. And this has been pretty much of a juggernaut offense. But Atlanta, like I said before, they got a very underrated defense, and they showed that they can play some D. They really can. But running back Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie out of Alabama, he had a chance to shine. 17 carries for 80 yards out of 4.7 yards per carry. I think he played really well. He had a long of 21, made a couple nice runs, moved the chains. He really liked what he did. Running back Craig Reynolds only got 4 carries, which was really nice. I was kind of worried that he was going to get more. Dan Campbell coming out early in the week saying it's not just going to be Gibbs. It pretty much was, but Reynolds had 15 yards on 3.8 yards per carry. And then running back Zonovan Knight, donning the Honolulu blue and silver, 3 carries for 13 yards. He was running hard, and he had a 4.3 yards per carry too. So look out, Craig Reynolds. You might have Zonovan Knight on your tail. Then Jared Goff, he had 5 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown run. You don't hear that too much. Jared Goff, it was on a 3rd down too. They were out, and they were 3 yards from the goal line. And Ben Johnson drew up a play and confused the hell out of the Atlanta Falcons defense. And Goff went pretty much untouched. I think he might have got clipped a little bit right at the goal line, but he just walked right in pretty much. Nobody knew he was going to do it. The fans didn't know. Obviously, the fans didn't know, but like the Atlanta Falcons defense was fooled. It was a good play by Ben Johnson. Fooled him. And then receiving, wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown just doing his thing, 9 yards. 9 catches, 102 yards, moving the chains, 11.3 yards per reception. It's targeted 12 times. Tight end Sam Laporta getting better every week. 8 catches, 84 yards. One was a long touchdown. A wide open touchdown, 10.5 yards. Targeted 11 times. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond got a little bit more involved this week, which was nice. Been kind of like screaming for that a little bit. 4 catches for 55 yards out of 13.8 yards per clip. Targeted 6 times as well. And then Jahmyr Gibbs only had 1 catch for 2 yards. Only targeted twice. Only targeted twice. Maybe it was because they were running him more. You know, you got to be a little bit careful with him because he is a rookie. You know, and he's not the biggest of guys. He's 200 pounds, but he's not the biggest of guys. So maybe they were, going to give him the rock in the run game. Kind of let up a little bit in the receiving game. Not sure if I agree with all that, but hey, man, this is why I don't coach in the NFL. This is why I don't coach in the NFL, and this is why I don't, this is why I sit back here and have some fun and do my YouTube videos, which is cool. But, yeah, man, I thought Gibbs had a good day. Then Patterson, yes, we do have a field goal kicker. 2 field goals, I think a long of 37. He hit 2 field goals, so that's nice, man. We weren't really in a situation, it didn't feel like, where we needed to score a ton of points, and I'm sure Dan Campbell felt the same way, so he used his field goal kicker to his max and kicked him at two good field goals. He's been pretty good this year so far, Patterson, so you like that. And then defensively, they played a fantastic game. There's too many guys I'm not going to mention here, but I'm going to mention the guys that I thought had the best games. Brian Branch, rookie. 11 tackles, couple pass defense, couple stuffs. He played the run really well. He did that in college. That's what he's known for. Rookie out of Alabama. He is a stud, and he played well. And he did get an unsportsmanlike. I think he got a 15-yarder on Bijan. He went helmet to helmet. He lit him up. He absolutely lit him up. I think it was helmet to helmet though that he got the 15. But the crowd was just wild when they were on defense, man. We were going crazy, guys. I'm surprised I can even talk. Seriously. And then cornerback Jerry Jacobs had 7 tackles. He didn't play that great, but didn't play terrible. Safety Tracy Walker, 6 tackles. He was in there. Linebacker Alex Anzalones had 5 tackles, made a couple stuffs. Charles Harris, 3 tackles and a sack. Linebacker Jack Campbell, the rookie out of Iowa, had 5 tackles and a sack as well. They're lining him up at defensive end every now and then. That's a little bit different. He's got some ability. I think he was a defensive end. I believe he was a defensive end coming into Iowa, turned into a linebacker. I think. It was either that or they wanted to turn him into a linebacker. They wanted to turn him into a defensive end. I think they wanted to at one point, or they had to because of injuries. And he became a little bit of a rush end at Iowa. I don't know what year it was, but I know I'm right on one of those. I'm not too sure if they wanted to make him one or he came from high school as a D end and they turned him into a linebacker. I just know that he's played some defensive end or he's capable, and he did it a little bit against the Falcons. He did it against the Seahawks too. So they're trying to get him more involved. Defensive tackle Lee McNeil, 3 tackles and a sack. I called him out. I was wondering where he's been. Nice. He had a really nice day, 3 tackles and a sack, and just played the run really well. And then Derek Barnes, a linebacker, 3 tackles, a sack. Nose tackle Benito Jones had 2 tackles and a sack. And then our boy, Aiden Hutchinson, had a really good game. His coming out party for 2023. 4 tackles, forced fumble, recovered his own forced fumble. So he had a fumble recovery and had 2 sacks on the day. He was making Desmond Ridder's life hell all day. The whole defense was. Like I said, they played great. They played great in coverage. They played great, fantastic against the run. They did everything well. So, like I said, they won this football game 20-6. Let's talk about the offense and defense. Like I said earlier about the offense, it wasn't a juggernaut of a day for the offense. Jared Goff, I thought, was efficient. Amon-Ra did his thing. Sam Laporta is getting better and better each week. We got a makeshift O-line. It could be a problem against better defenses, but like I said, Atlanta's got a very underrated defense. They got a very underrated defense. Holding that team to 20 points on the road is very good. It's very good for the Atlanta Falcons. That's a team that the Detroit Lions, they put up 30 plus a game last year, and they did it this last week against the Seahawks. So we're capable of putting up a lot of points, but the Atlanta defense played pretty well. They played good. They held us to 20, and our defense just played better. Our defense just played better. But I thought our offense was efficient. Too many penalties, though. We had a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball, but mainly it was on that O-line. The O-line had a couple holding penalties, way too many holding penalties. But like I said, makeshift. Guys like Sorslow coming in, Matt Nelson, who's not a starter, Dan Skipper, who's not really a starter. He's got some starting ability or some starting history. Same with Matt Nelson, but you don't really want those guys in there, but you don't have a choice. Now, Sorslow jumped in there, and he did okay, but he needs to clean up some stuff. So the offense, I thought, was efficient. So he scored some points. We got a field goal kicker. Patterson's kicking the ball well. He was used, I think, appropriately. Dan Campbell didn't have to go for it all the time, leaving his kicker in the dust, not using him. We do have a pretty solid kicker in Riley Patterson. So I like what the offense did. They need to get a little bit better there, but I'm not worried whatsoever about this offense. And then the defense. The defense was outstanding. People were ready to call for Aaron Glenn's head last week. I get it. It gets a little bit carried away. It gets a little bit overreaction. Football is a very reactionary sport. Not only on the field, but not only on the field, but off the field as well with the fan base. Fan bases get a little carried away negatively and positively. Everybody wanted Aaron Glenn gone. People were ripping apart Brad Holmes, for his draft picks. Now look, Brian Branch comes out and goes off. Jahmyr Gibbs has a very productive day. Sorslow comes in, and plays on the O-line. He's like the third or fourth guy off the bench on the O-line, maybe even deeper than that. And our draft picks are contributing. That's what they're doing. Jack Campbell's in there, making plays, sack, tackles. They're playing, the draft picks are well. We can cry about Jalen Carter all we want. We can cry about not getting a corner at 6, not getting a defensive tackle at 6, but the guys that we have are contributing. And they're playing well. They're playing really well, especially Branch, man. Branch came in there. He was a monster yesterday. He was everywhere on the field. So, and then that Falcons offense, man, they came in with the number 3 rushing attack in the NFL. Bijan was a problem. Tyler Algier was going to be a problem. 44 yards we held that running attack to. That's an elite running attack. Not an elite team, an elite running attack. And we stymied them, stuffed them. They didn't know what to do. And then I even said in my preview, you stop that run, you make Desmond throw the ball, you have a very high probability of winning that football game. And that's what they did. He dropped back 38 times. Falcons don't want to do that. They don't want to drop him back almost 40 times in a football game. They just don't. It's not what they are. They're a physical, running football team on offense. And our defense was fantastic. Our defense was absolutely fantastic. So we stymied their offense, and then their defense too, like their defense too, the Falcons defense. They held a really good offense. We were a top 5, top 10 offense last year. All depends on what numbers you really look at. And we were up there. We were up there with the upper echelon of the NFL. Our offense, Detroit Lions offense. And they have a very underrated defense. There's not a lot of stars over there, but they have just a good, well-rounded defense. And they held us to 20 points. You're usually going to win a football game if you hold a team to 20. Because I think the average score is, I believe, is 24 to 26, 28 or something like that. So in reality, we probably would have lost that game if our defense didn't show up. Because we didn't score enough points. But defense played fantastic. So I'm happy, man. Big win, 2-1 now. Atlanta's 2-1. We're going to have a short week this week as we're playing Thursday night against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, who are 2-1, who got lucky yesterday. They were down 17-0, 16-0, whatever it was, 17-16-0. And David Carr got hurt. He was sacked a lot, though. Sacked like 4 or 5 times, a lot. And then he got thrown on his shoulder. And once he went out of the game, the Saints offense went stale. Didn't even score a point. So and then their rookie kicker missed a field goal, like 46-yarder, who's got an absolute howitzer for a leg, and he missed a 46-yarder. So they got a little lucky, Green Bay. They've come back twice now, I believe, because they almost came back. Did they come back at the first game? I don't know who they played in week 1. I want to say Carolina, but no, Chicago. They were pretty much beating up on them, and then they had to kind of like, you know, they lost to Atlanta, and then they won yesterday against the Saints. They should be 1-2. They really should. You know, if you talk to anybody with any intelligence, if any intelligence, they'll probably tell you the same. Packer fans will tell you differently, though. They'll tell you differently. They got lucky, and that's just the way it is, though. That's just the way it is. Luck. It's a game of inches. It happens. You know, you got to capitalize more, but they had to go to their backup quarterback, Jameis Winston, who does have a lot of experience starting. So I can't really say it was a crazy drop-off, but, you know, David Carr or Derek Carr, whatever, is the better quarterback than Jameis Winston. So 2-1, guys, 2-1, going up against the first place Green Bay Packers at 2-1 because they got the division win against Chicago. This is for sole possession of first place early. If we win this game, we go up to number 1, and they drop to 2. They drop to 2 because the Vikings and the Chicago Bears are train wrecks right now. So 0-3 both those squads. I don't really see a win for any of those teams in a long time. So who knows what will happen. But yeah, this is a big win for us. It's 8:15 Thursday night at Lambeau. It's a big win for us, big game. They got to come out victorious in this because we don't want to drop 2 games to the Green Bay Packers. So that's it, guys. 20-6 win, victorious. It's Victory Monday. Good job. Great job on defense. Offense was efficient. Like it, guys. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming in and watching me rant about our Detroit Lions. Big win, 2-1. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification button up top. Hammer it. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Really appreciate it, guys. Go Lions. One pride. Let's go. Villains, baby. Woo!